This hot rod in the garage today, it's a Kia Optima, early 2000s. I don't remember off the top of my head. It's one, did valve cover gaskets. I rethreaded a spindle nut, axle nut over there. What else? I'm sure some other things. Still have to fix the AC yet. Put new brakes all the way around, and then I've got a lean going because I got to get to the evap system, because apparently this thing is hard to fill. It's hard to put gas in, so I need to check vent valves and all that and make sure that's all good. But today, and I got to move kind of quick here, I got to get these brakes done, front and rear. Got new, all new brakes, new rotors, new pads, new hardware, everything. So we'll jam this out. I'm just going to use an impacting driver on this. Pull these off. You really don't have to put them back on if you don't want to, but we got them, so I'll throw them back in. All right, caliper bolts, they're a 14. You can see here. And then what I'll do to get the caliper off, we'll just pull it forward a bit. It's pretty loose on there now. Alright. Alright, got our pads here. They look less than 2 millimeters. I'm sure the noise we were hearing was it getting into the squealer. This one, same. They're wearing evenly, so looks like everything's moving the way it should be. You know, the rotors aren't terrible, if we're being honest. But I was getting noise. I wasn't exactly sure where it was coming from. You know, I haven't had this thing out on the big road enough to know really if the brakes or anything are pulsing. But I got rotors. I got them from Rock Auto. I don't remember how much they were, but they were not expensive, so we'll go ahead and get those put on. Go ahead and hang our rotors. You probably won't hurt anything by not doing it, by letting them dangle. But, you know, we got the hangers, might as well use them, right? There they are. Back around to this side. Our caliper bracket bolts are a 17. Go ahead and get those out. They got little lock washers. That's interesting. Back to the front. Now, I'm in the south, so I'm thinking, yeah, that'll just slide right off. Go ahead and get our mating surfaces cleaned up. Very important. Well, go ahead and give it a clean. Making sure that our studs are clean. You know, if you were in the Rust Belt or salty environment, it probably wouldn't be a terrible idea to put a little bit of anti-seize or grease or something around here. You know, I want my threads to be dry. You know, I'm a TIA certified instructor, so TIA standards, we always use dry threads, because when you have grease or anti-seize or anything on the threads, you're going to torque it more, you're going to increase your torque spec, and there's no way to measure that. So, plus my experience, 99.9% of the time, you're seizing around the hub, not on your studs, when they're properly torqued. So, all right, now what are we working with? I got a hardware kit from China. I got cheap pads from India, and I got cheap rotors. China. Man, this stuff was pretty cheap. I'm sure it was probably less than $100 all in for pads, rotors, and hardware, all brand new. Let's see here. Oh, that's a rear rotor. Let me get a front rotor. All right, well, you saw a rear rotor. Let's look at a front rotor. Also from China. Let's see here. Looks like they're packed in grease. There's not really no rust to speak of. We'll go ahead and jam that on. Alrighty, give you a little different perspective here. Throw this back on. Oh, I didn't line that up. Yeah, I did. You don't got to get this tight. These are just here to ease with assembly. Alright, we got our brackets up here. Grab a look at these. Let's go through our hardware. Looks like we got new brackets and little anti-rattle clips. I don't think our old ones had those. We'll see if our new ones have provisions. Let's see, are these the same? Alright, looks like they may be same side to side, so. Here. So, in theory, these are stainless steel. They shouldn't rust. What you have to worry about is the area back there. Grab our brush. Clean them. If these were real rusty, you know, you're in the salt belt, you'd probably just be polishing rust. You'd probably want to come in with a file. But these are, I mean, honestly, I could probably just slap it together, not even lube it, and it would be fine. But we're here, so we're going to do a good job. Alrighty. Make sure our pads move, or slides move freely, and they do. They've got plenty of grease on them. Yeah, make sure to breathe that stuff in, eh? Yeah, they got plenty of grease. Grease looks okay. Alright. Get ourselves a little bit of brake grease. A lot of tribalism, a lot of opinions. I don't know. I use this stuff all the time and it works fine. And I know other people that say it doesn't work for them at all, so who could say? Alright, so we're greased up there. Slide in our new ones. get our pads. Figure out which pads they are. All right, got our pads. They look like they've been maybe opened before here. Maybe that's why my hardware kit was separate, didn't come with them. But maybe they just got open. I can't remember, you know, for old cars like this, there's oftentimes, you know, closeouts or whatever kind of deals. So, here, we'll do a thickness comparison. So, you can you can see the difference there. Like I said, we were into our squealer. So, all right. We'll give it just a touch of grease through there. And they ride. It shouldn't matter, but why not? Make sure they fit. Squealers are going to go towards the rear. They generally do. Generally. Whoa. You know, just as a FYI, you should never have to modify your pads. They should just slide in. It's a little tight, but it should be okay. I think it's the hardware that's just a little chintzy. There we go. All right, they move okay. All right, well, you know what? Let me get these on the vehicle. Well, yeah. All right. Slide that in. We'll jam in our new bolts. They don't seem to have any kind of Loctite or anything on them. You'll have to refer to your service manual for what your torque spec is, and you'll have to, you know, make sure you do that. Thought I was slick there, getting them pre-put in. All right, let's go grab our anti-rattle clips. All right, now a lot of times you'll find these missing because it can get a little silly trying to hold it all together and getting the caliper on. Now the hardware on this one's a little tight, so it may hold it all together. We'll see. Yeah. We gotta push our caliper in all the way. So lots of ways you can push that caliper back in, that piston back in rather. We'll do it this way. She don't want to move. Don't want to move at all. There she goes. Now, of course, you want to watch your you want to watch your master cylinder as you're pushing fluid back into it. Also, check your service info. A lot of people will want to crack the bleeders. It's not something that I do, not something I see that's necessary, but to each their own. It's more than one way to put new brakes on a cat, I suppose. Alright. Alright, we're in a curlicue. No, we're not. Alright. Once again, check your torque specs, or at least make sure that you're not in full kill mode. You will break those if you are. All right. Then, go ahead and get all that packing oil that comes on it off. All right, front's done. We'll move on to the rear. I don't know if I mentioned before, these are a 22 millimeter rim, or 22 millimeter lug nut. Alrighty, this one doesn't have any kind of electronic parking brake or anything fancy like that, so I should be able to just, if I can get in there. I can just, maybe, hopefully that was enough. Still a 14. I swapped to a swivel. If I can get in here. Oh, I don't want to do this. Oh, come on. Let me use power tools. All right. Perfect. All right, good. We're able to move it enough. She comes out. All right, then we're at a 17 to get this caliper bracket off. Let's see here. No, we're not. We're not at a 17. Is that also a 14 or is that a 15? Hey, that's also a 14. All right, so 14 and 14. I bumped you, same as before. They've got the little washers on them. That was a weird angle. All right, so somebody's already been back here. Our little bolts are MIA. I'll give her a couple taps here. Doesn't feel like the parking. I don't think it's not coming up. I don't think it's because it's dragging on the parking brake. Let me go get a hammer. Ooh. No. Yeah, they were dragging. No, we're not doing it today. But those liners on the parking brake are, well, I'd say they're thin, but I guess they're not. It's not a drum brake. It's just a parking brake. The wheel bearing feels decent. Let's clean that up. Alright, we got our caliper bracket. Oh, these are seized. Well, I mean, they're not terrible, but they ain't great either. Clean it up. Oh, it's too much. It's all too much. These numbers here. All right. Don't want to have too much in there because it'll actually cause it to stick. You get kind of like that hydraulic suction effect, and they'll stick at the bottom. All right, they move nice. All right, we got our rear pads here. Got some hardware. I assume it's going to be the same as front, where it'll be same side to side, hopefully. Alright, wait a minute here. Alright, so is that going to go in there? That goes on there? That doesn't seem right. How do these go? In there like that. Okay. I guess that is how it goes. Alright, we're going to go with that. That looks good. Get our pads out here. had a knife over here. All right, we'll go squealer towards the rear. Slide these in. Actually, we'll give her just a little dab. Shouldn't hurt anything. All right, there we go. They're a little fiddly, but then we'll go slap this on the rear. We've got to bring our rotor with us as well. All right. Oh, come on. Slide her on. Like I said, the screws are already missing, so I don't have to worry about those. Slide our caliper bracket on. So your caliper bracket bolts had the little lock washers. Except for this one, which is missing it. Probably fine. Found my washer. Try this again. Doesn't feel great. All right, that top one didn't feel great. So I'm going to run her in by hand just to make sure. So, make sure my Okay. Well, seems like my ratchet may be having issues here. Alright, well this thing is garbage. Be right back. I'll try this again. Again, check your service manual for torque specs on those. Alright, get our caliper on. We'll have to compress it. Grab my tool. Alright, that one's in. Our boot looks good. Slide her on. All the gunk off. Alright, this Kia, your lug nut torque is 80 foot-pounds. When I snugged them up with the impact, it was set to, you know, number one ugga dugga, as it were.